What would you do if your own business partner, someone you built an empire with, stole $30,000 from you and thought he'd get away with it?
Me?
I made sure he lost his money, his marriage, and the very business he thought he could steal from me. This is the story of how I turned his betrayal into his downfall. If you've ever dreamed of delivering cold, hard justice to someone who wronged you, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready. Because this is one of the most brutally satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear. Setup: the rise of the med spa, 2 to 3 minutes. I'm an internal medicine physician. Back when I was still paying off student loans, I teamed up with an acquaintance. Let's call him Mark. We weren't friends. Just two doctors in the same hospitalist group, both hungry to make some extra money. Our idea? A med spa. Botox. Minor cosmetic procedures. B12 infusions. It sounded simple enough, but it took off like wildfire. Soon we weren't just doing side gigs. We quit our full-time jobs and ran the spa full-time. Within a few years, we had 4 locations. It was exciting. We were building something real, something lasting. And for about 7 years, it worked. But success has a way of exposing cracks. Conflict: the cracks begin to show, 3 to 4 minutes. Mark wasn't exactly a responsible man. He had a wife, kids, and what should have been a good life. But apparently, that wasn't enough for him. He started cheating. Not just casual cheating, but full-blown sugar baby nonsense, lavishing gifts, dinners, even vacations. I wouldn't have cared about his personal life. That's his business. But when I found out he was embezzling money from our company to fund his little side adventures, that's when it became my problem. We're talking thousands, stolen right from the business account we both depended on. I knew. I sat on it for years.
Why?
Because the spa was making so much money, it wasn't worth blowing everything up. But then COVID hit. 2 of our 4 locations shut down. Suddenly, every dollar mattered. And that's when Mark's flaws became unbearable. He was chronically late, hungover half the time. He let his kids trash the office while I was away. And guess who picked up all the slack?
Me.
Ordering supplies, managing payroll, billing, insurance. I was the backbone of the business, and he was bleeding it dry. Turning point, my breaking point, 2 to 3 minutes. Finally, I'd had enough. I found a new job, a solid one. But I wasn't going to abandon Mark completely. I gave him 90 days notice. 3 whole months to find a replacement partner or figure out how to run things himself. What did he do with those 90 days? He siphoned more money for his mistress, showed up drunk, skipped shifts, and worst of all, when the time came for him to buy me out of my 50% ownership, he pulled the biggest betrayal yet. On the very Monday we agreed he'd buy me out, I logged into our business account. And guess what? I was locked out. When I finally regained access, I saw $30,000, my half, had been moved into an account I couldn't touch. That was it. The last straw. The anger hit me like a tidal wave. My heart was pounding. My fists were clenched. I wasn't just betrayed. I was robbed. And I knew right then. I wasn't walking away quietly. If he wanted to play dirty, I was about to teach him what real consequences looked like. Revenge planning. The calm before the storm, 2 to 3 minutes. Remember how I said I handled all the back office stuff? Supplies, billing, payroll order forms? All of that information lived on our shared office hard drive. Every single detail, he'd need to keep the business alive. So I bought an identical hard drive,
Swapped it.
and took the original home with me. When I plugged it in, I found more than just business documents. There were backups of his emails, photos, and even his calendar, including some very steamy messages between him and his mistress. Guess who got those forwarded straight to her inbox? His wife. But that was only the beginning. The very next day, I ran a full-page ad in our local newspaper promoting a huge holiday special at our spa, the one we had planned together. Customers came flooding in. And since I knew he couldn't handle the workload, I decided to twist the knife further. I hired some college students to write a storm of bad reviews on Yelp and Google. Overnight, our once golden reputation turned toxic. Now, all I had to do was watch. Climax, the payoff, 2 to 3 minutes. Within days, the fallout was brutal. The clinic was swamped with new clients because of the ad, but they couldn't keep up. Supplies ran out fast, and since I had taken the order forms, Mark was completely helpless. He had to turn away both new and loyal clients, humiliated in front of everyone. Meanwhile, his wife, armed with proof of his affair, filed for divorce. His mistress?
Gone.
And when he tried to sue me for the hard drive, I countersued for the $30,000 he stole. In the end, the settlement was simple. He gave me my money back and I gave him the documents. But by then, the damage was already done. His marriage gone. His mistress gone. His business collapsing. Within months, he filed for bankruptcy. The empire we built together was ashes in his hands.
And me?
I walked away free with a brand new job I actually love. There's nothing sweeter than watching someone destroy themselves with the very weapons they thought would hurt you. He thought he could steal from me, humiliate me, and walk away clean. Instead, he lost his marriage, his money, his reputation, and his business. Justice doesn't always come from the courts. Sometimes it comes from the person you underestimated most. Looking back, I don't regret a single move. Revenge doesn't fix the past, but it sure does balance the scales. And in this case, I'd say karma just needed a little push. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe because I've got plenty more stories of betrayal and payback coming your way.